Hello, everybody. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. Hi, Kurt. Good to see you. Oh. Hope everybody is doing great today. I'm doing good. A year and almost 1 week now, or 11 years in 1 week. I don't know why I said 1 year. Anyways, this is an AA meeting, and everybody's welcome to be here and can chat all you want. Please just don't judge each other in the comments or the chat, or, because I do keep these posted so that way newcomers can watch them and leave comments if they have any comments. But I also know that people don't feel comfortable doing that, so if you're a newcomer, welcome. I'm Sandra, and I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I do these meetings because it was a gift I received for free, and I share it for free. But anyways, let's get into it. Come here. Come on. The showstopper of all things. Mr. Ryder. All right, let's see. There's a serenity prayer, huh? Shall we, Ryder? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I always put in the description on my YouTube side what we're reading, the book, the chapter, the story, all of that. Go, Dad, Ryder. Go, Dad. Go get him. Anyway, so I always put those in there. I don't on Facebook because I just go straight on live through Facebook. So I always say what we're reading and all of that good stuff. That's awesome. I don't want to say your name unless if I have your permission to. You're welcome to be here. You're welcome to share whatever you would like to share. And everybody that's usually here knows that we don't judge each other in the comments, in the chat and stuff. And we don't go to each other's channels and harass them or anything like that. So this is a safe space for all of my AA and NA people. I'm not part of NA, but I know that we use this basically the same thing. So let me say hello to Reza. He was here earlier today. And my sister, my twin sister, Lily T, Tony, who is my sponsor, and Bama, hello, and you're welcome to be here. And over here, Kurt, welcome to the Facebook side. I don't get many people in on the Facebook side, but I do. I went back to doing them because I was asked if I would, and so I always try to make these meetings to wherever they can reach, and so I went back to doing them on Facebook for that purpose, to help the ones that can't don't have YouTube and all of that stuff, so whatever. But anyways, I'm Sandra. I'm an alcoholic, and we're going to go through the steps. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over the care of God as we understood Him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7, humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continue to take personal inventory, and when wrong, promptly admit it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. So like I said, I just celebrated my 11th year sobriety, and I can honestly say that I would not be here if it was not for AA, the groups that I have been to, and the people I have met have helped a lot in figuring out ways to get through each day of not drinking. And it's especially hard when you're a newcomer, but I can promise it gets easier if you just stick with it. And eventually you don't even know you're doing your steps on a daily basis. Thank you. Well, you're welcome to be here, and it's why I do these meetings is for people that need the help. And, not everybody is up for going to a meeting all the time. And it's tough. And but that's why I started doing them here on YouTube and Facebook, is because those people that can't get out to a meeting, they still need a meeting. They still need to have a group that they can call theirs. And so why not give a gift that I was given for free to other people for free? And this is the way I can do it for free. So we're in the big book. This is a big book. I've got the 4th edition. So if you have a different edition, it might be on a different page. I know that we're coming out with a new edition, I think next month. I'll have to check on that. But we're supposed to be getting a new one with the up-to-date, all of those things. Anyways, so we're on chapter 10, the employers, page 136. Among many employers nowadays, we think of one member who has spent much of his life in the world of big business. He has hired and fired hundreds of men. He knows the alcoholic as the employer sees him. His present views ought to improve exceptionally useful to businessmen everywhere. But let him tell you. I was at one time assistant manager of a corporation department employing 6,600 men. One day, my secretary came in saying that Mr. B insisted on speaking with me. I told her to say that I was not interested. I had warned him several times that he had but one more chance. Not long afterward, he had called me from Hartford on 2 successive days, so drunk he could hardly speak. I told him he was through, finally and forever. My secretary returned to say that it was not Mr. B on the phone. It was Mr. B's brother, and he wished to give me a message. I still expect a plea for clemency, but these words came through the receiver. I just wanted to tell you Paul jumped from a hotel window in Hartford last Saturday. He left us a note saying you were the best boss he ever had and that you were not to blame in any way. Another time, as I opened a letter which lay on my desk, a newspaper clipping fell out. It was the obituary of one of the best salesmen I ever had. After 2 weeks of drinking, he had placed his toe on the trigger of a loaded shotgun. The barrel was in his mouth. I had discharged him for drinking 6 weeks before. Still another experience. A woman's voice came faintly over a long distance from Virginia. She wanted to know if her husband's company insurance was still in force. 4 days before, he had hanged himself in his woodshed. I had been obliged to discharge him for drinking, though he was brilliant, alert, and one of the best organizers I have ever known. Here was 3 exceptional men lost to this world because I did not understand alcoholism as I do now. What an irony. I became an alcoholic myself, and but for the intervention of an understanding person, I might have followed in their footsteps. My downfall cost the business community unknown thousands of dollars, for it takes real money to train a man for an executive position. This kind of waste goes on unabated. We think the business fabric is short or shot through with a situation which might be helped by better understanding all around. Nearly every modern employer feels a moral responsibility for the well-being of his help, and he tries to meet these responsibilities. That he has not always done so for the alcoholic is easily understood. To him, the alcoholic has often seemed a fool of the first magnitude. Because of the employee's special ability or of his own strong personal attachment to him, the employer has sometimes kept such a man at work long beyond a reasonable period. Some employers have tried every known remedy. In only a few instances has there been a lack of patience and tolerance. And we who have imposed on the best of employers can scarcely blame them if they have been short with us. Here, for instance, is a typical example. An officer of one of the largest banking institutions in America knows I no longer drink. One day he told me about an executive of the same bank who, from his description, was undoubtedly alcoholic. This seemed to me like an opportunity to be helpful. So I spent 2 hours talking about alcoholism, the malady, and described the symptoms and results as well as I could. His comment was, "Very interesting, but I'm sure this man is done drinking. He has just returned from a 3-month leave of absence, has taken a cure, looks fine, and to clinch the matter, the board of directors told him this was the last chance." The only answer I could make was that if the man followed the usual pattern, he would go on a bigger bust than ever. I felt this was inevitable and wondered if the bank was doing the man an injustice. Why not bring him into contact with some of our alcoholic crowd? He might have a chance. I pointed out that I had had nothing to drink whatever for 3 years, and this is the face of difficulties that would have made 9 out of 10 men drink their heads off. Why not at least afford him an opportunity to hear my story? "Oh no," said my friend. "This chap is either through with liquor or he is minus a job. If he has your willpower and guts, he will make the grade." I wanted to throw up my hands in discouragement, for I saw that I had failed to help my banker friend understand. He simply could not believe that his brother executive suffered from a serious illness. There was nothing to do but wait. Presently, the man did slip and was fired. Following his discharge, we contacted him. Without much ado, he accepted the principles and procedure that had helped us. He is undoubtedly on the road to recovery. To me, this incident illustrated lack of understanding as to what really ails the alcoholic, and lack of knowledge as to what part employers might profitably take in salvaging their sick employees. If you desire to help, it might be well to discard your own drinking or lack of it. Whether you are a hard drinker, a moderate drinker, or a teetotaler, you may have some pretty strong opinions, perhaps prejudice. Those who drink moderately may be more annoyed with an alcoholic than a total abstainer would be. Drinking occasionally and understanding your own reactions, it is possible for you to become quite sure of many things which, so far as the alcoholic is concerned, are not always so. As a moderate drinker, you can take your liquor or leave it alone whenever you want it. You control your drinking. Of an evening, you can go on a mild bender, get up in the morning, shake your head, and go to business. To you, liquor is no real problem. You cannot see why it should be to anyone else, save the spineless and stupid. When dealing with an alcoholic, there may be a natural annoyance that a man could be so weak, stupid, and irresponsible. Even when you understand the malady better, you may feel this feeling rising. A look at the alcoholic in your organization is many times eliminating. Is he not usually brilliant, fast thinking, imaginative, and likable? When sober, does he not work hard and have a knack of getting things done? If he had these qualities and did not drink, would he be worth retaining? Should he have the same consideration as other ailing employees? Is he worth salvaging? If your decision is yes, whether the reason he be humanitarian or business or both, then the following suggestion may be helpful. Can you disregard the feeling that you are dealing only with habit, with stubbornness, or a weak will? If this presents difficulty, reread chapter 2 and 3, where the alcoholic sickness is discussed. At length might be worthwhile. You, as a businessman, want to know the necessities before considering the results. If you concede that your employee is ill, can his past absurdities be forgotten? Can it be appreciated that he has been a victim of crooked thinking directly caused by the action of alcohol on his brain? My glasses are fogging up and I can't see. Lily is my twin. We're identical twins. She's 2 minutes older than me, so she'll be 50 before me. Okay, now I gotta remember where I was. I will remember the shock I received when a prominent doctor in Chicago told me of cases where pressure of the spinal fluid actually ruptured the brain. No wonder an alcoholic is strangely irrational. Who wouldn't be? With such a fevered brain, normal drinkers are not so affected, nor can they understand the aberrations of the alcoholic. Your man has probably been trying to conceal a number of scrapes, perhaps pretty messy ones. They may be disgusting. You may be at a loss to understand how such a seemingly above-board chap could be so involved. But these scrapes can generally be charged, no matter how bad. The abnormal action of alcohol on his mind. When drinking or getting over about an alcoholic, sometimes a model of honesty, when normal, will do incredible things. Afterward, his revulsion will be terrible. Nearly always, these antics indicate nothing more than temporary conditions. This is not to say that an alcoholic are honest and upright when not drinking. Of course, that isn't so. And such people often may impose on you. Seeing your attempt to understand and help, some men will try to take advantage of your kindness. If you are sure your man does not want to stop, he may as well be discharged. The sooner the better. You are not doing him a favor by keeping him on. Firing such an individual may prove a blessing to him. It may be just the jolt he needs. I know in my particular case that nothing my company could have done would have stopped me for so long as I was able to hold my position. I could not possibly realize how serious my situation was had they fired me first, and had they then taken steps to see that I was presented with the solution contained in this book. I might have returned to them 6 months later, a well man. But there are many men who want to stop, and with them you can go far. Your understanding and treatment of their cases will pay dividends. Perhaps you have such a man in mind. He wants to quit drinking and you want to help him, even if be only a matter of good business. You now know more about alcoholism. You can see that he is mentally and physically sick. You are willing to overlook his past performances. Suppose an approach is made something like this. State that you know about his drinking and that it must stop. You might say you appreciate his abilities, would like to keep him, but cannot if he continues to drink. A firm attitude at this point has helped many of us. Next, he can be assured that you do not intend to lecture, moralize, or condemn, that if this was done formally, it was because of misunderstanding. If possible, express a lack of hard feeling toward him. At this point, it might be well to explain alcoholism, the illness. Say that you believe he is a gravely ill person with this qualification, being perhaps fatally ill. Does he want to get well? You ask because many alcoholics, being warped and drugged, do not want to quit. But does he? Will he take every necessary step, submit to anything to get well, to stop drinking forever? Let's see how long this one is. Yeah, this one's quite long too. If he says yes, does he really mean it? Or down inside, does he think he is fooling you? And that after rest and treatment, he will be able to get away with a few drinks now and then. We believe a man should be thoroughly probed on these points. Be satisfied he is not deceiving himself or you. Whether you mention this book is a matter for your discretion. If he temporizes and still thinks he can ever drink again, even beer, he might as well be discharged. After the next bender, which, if an alcoholic, he is almost certain to have one. He should understand the empathy or empathetically. Either you are dealing with a man who can and will get well, or you are not. If not, why waste time with him? This may seem severe, but it is usually the best course. My voice is going hoarse. After satisfying yourself that your man wants to recover and that he will go to any extreme to do so, you may suggest a definite course of action. For most alcoholics who are drinking or who are just getting over a spree, a certain amount of physical treatment is desirable, even imperative. The matter of physical treatment should, of course, be referred to your own doctor. Whatever the method, its object is to thoroughly clear mind and body of the effects of alcohol in competent hands. This seldom takes long, nor is it very expensive. Your man will fare better if placed in such physical conditions that he can think straight and no longer crave liquor. If you propose such procedure to him, it may be necessary to advance to the cost of treatment, but we believe it should be made plain that any expense will later be deducted from his pay. It is better for him to feel fully responsible. And I'm going to have to stop. My bookmark went to the floor. So, like I said, I had the first job I got after I quit drinking. That was the first thing I did. I had not been going to full meetings. Hi, Cheryl. And so when I started my job, I had just started going to meetings when I got that job. And granted, it was camp hosting. I was dealing with the public. I was taking care of campgrounds, and there's a lot of people that drink when you're camping. But when I first got this job, I made it a point to tell my boss that, hey, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I do go to AA. I just started. And, that boss was pretty cool. She said that if I didn't feel comfortable picking up a liquor bottle or a beer can or a wine bottle, to just leave it, somebody else would pick it up. Now, during that time, I had my friend that got me to start going to AA would drink O'Doul's. And so I grabbed a 6-pack of O'Doul's, and then I went to a meeting, and they said that O'Doul's still had alcohol in them. So I got rid of those. I gave them away. I was like, nope, I'm not going to have that temptation in my home, which was a trailer. And so I gave those up. But I was honest about it, and I've always been honest about my alcoholism. And that's one thing that AA teaches you is let those people know. You never know if there's another alcoholic where you work. Take it from me, I know that very well. Because I had already got a sponsor. But another coworker that was camp hosting, Once again, I always told anybody that asked if I wanted a drink, I would tell them, no, I don't drink. I'm a recovering alcoholic. Well, I had other hosts that were coworkers, and you got to get along with your coworkers. So I made sure to tell them that I was a recovering alcoholic. Like I said, I'm not shy about it. And one of my coworkers, an elderly lady, she became my second sponsor. And she passed away a couple years ago, but she always told me to find my voice. And when I found it, to use it. And I finally started using my voice for the right purpose, not arguing with people. Because that's what I did when I first got my voice back, was, I don't care what you're saying. And even my family didn't really catch on and understand AA because I had just started it. But she became my second sponsor, and she was always telling me to use my voice. And so I started using it. And here I am, 11 years and almost a week sober. And I use my voice, and I use it very well. My second job I had after hosting, I met my best friend, who is my sister now. I call her sister. She calls me sister. And she is also a recovering alcoholic and addict. And so she started coming to my meetings here online as well. My sponsor comes to these meetings. And I think when I talked to some friends, when I first decided that I was going to ask somebody, because I felt close enough to this person that I could ask her what she thought about me doing AA on YouTube. And she was very honest with me. She's like, well, I don't know if it would be a good idea because, people are judgmental. And so I pondered it for a couple more months. And I was like, I'm going to do it anyway. So I started doing my meetings here on YouTube. And boy, am I glad I did. Because I have been able to help a lot of people that can't get out to a meeting, that don't feel comfortable going to places in person. That is my ear you decided to lick while I'm talking. This is Ryder, guys. Another one. Center of attention. Yes. Anyways, but when I found AA, I didn't think that it was going to be beneficial to me. And I am so grateful and happy that I found those rooms, and I found the people that I have found, and I help people that I help. Because the purpose of the meeting is to help the next one. You can't eat my earrings, dude. No. Stop. Nope. No. I'll put you down. No. Don't square up, mister. You're going to go on the floor. Then you'll be stuck down on the floor. Huh? No, don't you do it. He gets a look of annoyance. I said no. You're getting down. Anyways. Happy holidays, Shirley. I'm glad that you got your own place. Yeah, we just got him on Saturday. It just happened that way. He is my 11th year gift to myself. He is a 3-year-old. Yeah, I lost my thinking. Boston Terrier. He's a purebred. He's not fixed. We might groom. I'm not sure. But anyways, but I've always been open about my alcoholism with anybody and everybody, and that includes employers. And I found that being honest about being an alcoholic helps the alcoholic to know that they're being honest to tell that person that they have a problem, which is hard to do. It's hard to admit that you have a problem. Being an alcoholic is a disease that doesn't leave. It's there for your whole life. Once you give in to being that alcoholic, like I did in my 30s, my kids were teenagers, they could take care of themselves, so I felt I got nothing else to do, you know. Are you gonna lick my hair? Huh? Huh? No licking my ear. Thank you. Anyways, but I've been planning on changing doctors, and part of the reason I haven't is because my doctor has recited the prayer to me, and that triggered it in me that, you know, either he is one of us or he just knows about it, which, you know, it wouldn't surprise me. But the employers, some of them understand and some of them do not. I have told a family member to be honest with your employer. Let them know what. No, sir. No. I said no. You're going to get down again. Sit. We're still learning. No. On return. Spoiled. Stop. Oh, yeah. He's got everybody in his little paw. Not all employers will understand, and I have another family member who is an alcoholic and got fired for admitting that they are an alcoholic. And some employers are like that. They don't want to deal with somebody who has an issue with addiction or alcohol. And, you know, it's sad, but no, absolutely not. Stop it. You're not going to be eating on my ear. He likes to lay on my lap and my leg is crossed. Because if it's not crossed, he's going to fall on the floor. And he's little. He's not very big. Thank you. I appreciate that. I go live every Tuesday and Thursday for AA. On Tuesdays, I go live at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and on Thursdays, I go at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If I'm not doing one, usually I will post something on my tab, my community tab. I will post there that I'm not going live for AA that day. But tomorrow, I am going to a meeting. I'm going to meet my sponsor, go to a meeting, and get my 11-year coin. So I'm pretty excited about that. I haven't been to a regular meeting in months. I think it's been like a year, actually. I shouldn't be laughing because it's not funny. I really need to go, but I just haven't felt like going all the way out there to my home group. But I need to. I need to go freshen up on mine, huh? Yeah. But anyways, let me check on the chat and see if anybody's had any questions for me. Let's see. So if you're not subscribed to Cheryl Van Life with Cheryl, please do. She's an awesome lady up in Canada. Subscribe to Lily T. She has a lab mix. Yeah, please always remember that you're not alone. There are meetings absolutely everywhere as you come across this one. But yes, and if you have any questions while I'm live, just if you have a question, leave it in the chat. I think he needs to go out. He stumbled across when I was searching Alan Jackson song, so I feel like I was drawn to it. And I need it because I am on step 3, but I have been drinking. Just ask.
What?
So you need to.
Okay. I'll take them.
Yes, anytime you need need help, there's help everywhere. Oh, daily reflection. My sponsors.
Come here. He's trying to run from me. Come here, Dirt. Come here, buddy.
Anyway, I just got your sub notification there, Bama Girl. Step 3. Let's see, what one is step 3? Usually I know them by heart. Oh, okay. My sponsor just texted me. She says, anytime you need anybody, all you have to do is just ask. And we have to read the daily reflection. So I have the app. I have that daily reflection app that keeps track of my sobriety date. And it also has daily reflections. It has the books in there. You can get everything there if you need to refer to anything. So step 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over the care of God as we understand Him. The way I did step 3 was I came up with a random thing as my higher power. Yes, I believe there is something bigger than myself, obviously, but for a spiritual thing, it can be any type of spiritual thing that you want. When I first started doing my steps and I did step 3, it was kind of easy for me because I already believed in a higher power. That something created everything. But we don't necessarily believe in a God of any type because that just, a lot of people will say that they don't believe in a God. And I've been told that before by one of my old sponsees. And like I said to her, you don't have to believe in God. You just need to believe in a power that's bigger than yourself. Have an open mind and think about something that's bigger than you that can help you out when you need that little push of, like, get me through this. I'm struggling. And live and let live. Say the serenity prayer. That helps as well. Or if you're dealing with another person, do step 11. Because that's having a spiritual awakening. As a result of these steps, we carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. And I got yelled at a few months ago. My mom got sick and had to be rushed to the hospital via ambulance, and a family member showed up who I don't get along with, but I was being civil until I said, pray. Holy moly, did that set her off? She was like, I don't believe in God, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, then you need to find a higher power of whatever making you got, because your attitude sucks right now, and this is not the place to be doing that. And she left. But it only upset me that she did that in all places, an emergency room. That really irritated me. But I kept a calm, cool, collected attitude. I didn't throw a hissy fit or anything. I just simply said, find a higher power. And she didn't like that either. So, whatever. Like Cheryl says, it's worth it to keep trying. Oh, yeah. I'm glad you came across this meeting. It's not easy to give up the drink. Believe me, I know. I went through all of my stuff by myself. Hot sweats, shaking. I had to make it through it because I really didn't want to drink anymore. And that was November 15th, 2014. I keep trying to say 2020. But I'm glad I found AA, though, because if it wasn't for AA, I probably wouldn't be sitting here doing these meetings. I'd probably be off drinking somewhere if I was even still here. But I'm glad you found us. So glad you found us. The urge is strong for quite a while, but you can do it. You just have to want it for the right reasons, and the right reason is for yourself. Because all alcohol is a slow death. Because you could end up going out and drinking and driving. I did that once, and I was like, nope, never again. And it's not easy to admit for everybody, but I did. And the first time I got sober, I was sober for a year. And it was before I got to AA. And I was like, all right, it's been a year. I'm going to go ahead and have this drink. I found Jack Daniels and Coke in a bottle mixed, so I got it. I drank it and I didn't quit. I went right back down to where I had just come from. And that's why I have strived to stay sober this long, because I know that all it will take is one drink, and I will be right back to where I was 11 years ago. It won't be start over. It's never just a start over. It's, oh crap, I'm already at the bottom. And you feel even more guilty because, especially if you've been through AA and you think, aha, it's working, and I don't have to go anymore. The saying is, it works if you work it, and I stand by that, because if I didn't work my program into every day of my life, I don't think I would be here, for real. And I wouldn't have the courage to sit here and talk live stream with people that I don't know for a good cause. And that's exactly why I do it. Yeah, we'll be praying for you, for sure. Yeah, the holidays can be hard for us alcoholics, especially when you have people that want to drink and they don't understand that is an even more temptation for us alcoholics. My dad used to always say, when I tell him how long I was sober, he'd say, well, I just drank about a week ago. It's like, I don't care what you did a week ago or a month ago or yesterday. If you drank or you didn't drink, because I'm not you and I didn't drink. And he stopped hiding his whiskey because it doesn't bother me for somebody to be drinking. And that is the power of these meetings. keeping me on the sober train. And doing these meetings has helped me to stay sober. Julie says it's not an easy journey for sure. You can try some coping skills when you get triggered. Very helpful and brings you back to your journey. Exactly. Just always remind yourself you're not alone. You're not alone, and even if you just get the app and read the book through there and work your steps, get a sponsor, somebody that you trust that can help you on your journey, because they are there to help you with the steps, because steps are not the easiest. I sat on step 11 for 6 months. But yeah, I'm coming down to the bottom of the chat again. My sponsor says, thank you. I love you. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. I can't wait to see you either. Looking forward to it. Bama, yes. My parents drank. Now, mind you, I had my stepdad, which he took care of us. And so they would drink and have us girls make their drinks. And mine and Lily's father was an alcoholic. And I say was because he passed away, not because he got sober. But I always knew that I would be an alcoholic. I just didn't know when, and I fought it for a long time. Like, I was a normal drinker at one point in my life. Like, it didn't bother me to go without alcohol for any amount of time. And I drank as a teenager, and I drank as an adult in my 20s. But I didn't get into the alcoholic part of myself until I was in my 30s. And of course, it was at a time in my life and my kids' life. My kids were old enough to remember it. And they still remember it. And my son told me last week, me telling him when I was completely drunk that I wanted to hood surf. Come on! I can't pick you up that way, dude. But one of my worries is that my boys will become an alcoholic. And they haven't. And I pray that they won't. And that's all I can do. I can't tell them they can't. I can't tell them they will. So whatever happens, happens. And everything happens for a reason, huh? Just like you coming here to live, huh? My good baby. Anyways, I'm getting tired. Are you tired? Yeah? Mama didn't eat dinner yet. Anyways, let's go ahead and say the Serenity Prayer and get on with the night so I can get to bed because I gotta get up early. Oh, you were in your 30s as well. You married in high school? Oh, wow. I got married when I was 21. And we're still married been together for 29 years and we'll be married, or we have been married for 25. We just celebrated 25. But, yeah. Anyways, oh, you'll be 40 in January. Awesome. I'm in my 40s. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. Thank you guys for coming, and I love you all. And remember, you're not alone. There's a lot of us out there, and hopefully you can get the help you want. Just make a phone call or look up a meeting. There are meetings everywhere, as you can tell. And I will be live again on Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let's say the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. I love you guys. Be nice out there. Stay sober. You're welcome, Bama.